Maybe it's a little bit difficult in America, but in third world countries, Facebook.
And they want change, and that's starting to cause a simmering boil.
So they are extracting much more information that actually provide them.
And what is the king's bargain? Is you are willing to give up our security, our freedom, our privacy.
তৌহিদ ভাই, government
Okay.
is losing power. আপনারা
Okay,
যারা করতেছেন এই
yeah.
So
Actually, I
Tauhid
believe-
bhai,
I
government
believe,
is losing power. I want you to take like what the government can take, and what's your take on this, please?
Okay, I'm absolutely subscribing your idea that government is actually losing power. It's not all about the government. Who actually government? If you say according to democracy, the representative of people is the government, right? So actually, what the this extractive surveillance capitalism is doing extracting all the information. So as a person, at the initiation, at the inception of the idea, you are losing your freedom. To whom? Some people who are actually controlling things from some holy place called Silicon Valley. And they are kind of new prophets. And they're holding more power than the medieval prophet who preaches different kind of religions from different regions of the world. They have more subscriber within, like, if you think about the major believer in the major religions, you find that would not be much, that level of that number of subscriber of those religions within like 10-15 years. Right at this moment, these Silicon Valley prophets have right this moment. They have much more influence on people than that those time the prophets had on their disciples. So the shifting is serious. Right at this moment, when we think about history, we actually hate people who took our sovereignty as a colonialist, or who actually exploited us as a feudalist. So what we are actually gonna heading towards? You already mentioned that some wealth are accumulated through the serious level of critical monopoly. So these people you may term as this modern day prophet, but actually they are modern day feudals. They are accumulating all the wealth, and they are actually utilizing our behavior, our movement, our interaction, networking, everything, and they are building their wealthy system. And actually we are at the end losing our sovereignty. When people lose their sovereignty, ultimately the democratic institutions lose your strong grip on the system. That's happening actually. If you think about how they actually can, right at this moment, maybe it's a little bit difficult in America, but in third world countries, Facebook or anything that control the social media has a serious impact. Do you know that there are a lot of issues that happen while there is an ethnic cleansing in the Myanmar? Those people fled in Bangladesh. That was aided by Facebook at the time. Serious number of people were affected by that ethnic cleansing just because at the time the genocide who actually caused this genocide, they actually spread so much derogatory speech, hatred, and videos at the time. And at the time, like in around 15 or 16 at that year, Facebook policy was not even properly formulated how to control this kind of xenophobic hatred towards the religion and ethnic cleansing and all those issues. That they couldn't do that. And even if you think about right at this moment, almost a serious level of impact is incurred on different democratic institutions. If you look about any election in a third world country, definitely Facebook will play a major role. And there is a possibility that if you can get into those information that your voters had, or your voters have, if you have proper information and data through some system, then you can manipulate them. You can design the social network to other internet services in a way that people will preach to a doctrine. People will get idea and absorb all those ideas, be it positive or negative. But who can actually preach this doctrine and can feed this kind of hatred and negative campaign? People will ultimately subscribe, and they are doing it everywhere around the world. So I am actually also concerned about the present situation of democracy and also the governance. If it is not proper democracy, there will not be proper governance. The governance will also be volatile to the extraction of information and data from inside and outside. And I mean, when they are taking anything from us, like we are getting a service from Google or Facebook, like we search something. So there is two layer of this information that we are putting something that I want to grow from place X to Y, but they are extracting second layer of information. Actually, why I'm going to there, what's my motto, and where I'm stopping actually from place A to X. Maybe in Z I'm stopping, giving a stop. And why I'm stopping, I'll take some coffee, or like I will have some food or gas or something like that I record. So they are extracting much more information that actually provide them. So upon those systems, they are actually taking away our individual spontaneity and sovereignty. Actually, what the totalitarian system at 1920s and 30s and 60s took away from the previous system in the Western Europe and throughout the world, they actually took away the spontaneity of the people, the spontaneous individual action of the people, that people can no longer work according to their will. That was done by the Hitler, Stalin, and other Mussolini and other totalitarian government. And right at this moment, who are actually taking away our power? People who are sitting in the Silicon Valley and making big plan to get more data, pretending that they will give us more service. That's my take on this idea of the surveillance capitalism.
I don't know. I'm just going to kind of reinforce a comment I said earlier. And if we're talking about techno-feudalism, right? I mean, these are our new feudal lords. I mean, it goes back to this concept of the king's bargain, right? And what is the king's bargain? Is we're willing to give up our security, our freedom, our privacy, but there has to be something in exchange for it. And usually it's this idea of comfort. It's comfort and security. And we're at a point where, yes, we've given up all this stuff, our information, our data, maybe our freedom and our liberty. But what are we getting in exchange for it? I mean, yes, I'm getting the flashy new toys. I've got my iPad, my Xbox. I love it. I'm very comfortable with it. And for a while there, I didn't really care because I'd come home and play games, and I was very comfortable. But again, I'm going to reinforce that the tech industry, government needs to grapple with what I perceive to be a very real crisis, at least in the United States, and I think maybe in Bangladesh a little bit, we talked about, which is, I don't know if they're living up to their side of the bargain anymore. I think there's a lot of people who are not very comfortable. Again, food, housing, education for our children, healthcare. On a personal level, last week I hit my head and got a concussion, right? Did I go to the doctor? No, I did not. Why did I not go to the doctor? Because I was thinking about my high deductible health plan and how much it was going to cost. So I said, I'll just suffer through the side effects.
Wow, I'm so sorry hearing that.
It's it could have been worse, and other people experience much worse, right? People have cancer or diabetes and they cut their insulin. And so why am I bringing all this stuff up is, again, it goes back to the bargain. And I think there are a lot of people who are getting very disaffected and are very apathetic, and they're starting to feel despair, and they want change, and that's starting to cause a simmering boil. And what does that mean? I mean, historically, it's not a good thing when a mass of the population start feeling that way, and it starts going from a boil to a boil over to action. And that is a fear I have in my head. And I guess I'll say it's violence, right? It's revolution. It's people taking things into their own hands, like gunning down a CEO in the streets of New York. I mean, why does that happen? Because people are upset. And all this talk we have, I mean, that's my main concern on my mind, is stability. And I don't want to see a world where we rip ourselves apart and there's blood in the streets, right? But I'll leave it there.